Welcome to another ALEKS Geometry Topic instructional video by Mr. Hardy. What we're going to do is in this topic is solve what we call a proportional equation. And this proportional equation is a little more complicated than maybe what you're used to. So let me just explain. I'm pretty sure that if you took the ALEKS algebra, you met problems like this, and we had to either bust the fraction or cross multiply in order to solve for x, to get x by itself. So now it's a little more complicated. As you can see, we have x is in the denominator, but we're adding like a 6 here and subtracting a 2. So it's a little more complicated, but the strategy is pretty much the same. We're going to use a concept called bust the fraction. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the value of x that if you plug it in to the equation, the left side will equal the right side. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to write it up here because I'm going to need some room. I got x plus 6 equals 9 over x minus 2. So the idea behind bust the fraction is you take whatever's in the denominator and multiply the equation. X plus 6. I have to put parentheses in here. This is going to look like 6 times negative 3. And it's not. It's x plus 6 times negative 3. Okay, and then I don't know, for some reason I just like to put parentheses everywhere. Now remember, what you do to one side of the equation you have to do to the other, so I have to say x plus 6 here, and I'm just going to extend that line out to make sure you see that it's on the top. Extend that out. Okay, so now the fun begins. Any number divided by itself is 1. So I hope you see that x plus 6 divided by x plus 6 is whatever x is, it's going to be the same on the top and the bottom. Like if x is 0, you get 6 over 6, so that's 1 over 1, which is 1. Okay, so these go away and we get negative 3 equals, and then I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 9. So 9 times x is 9x, and 9 times 6 is 54, all divided by x minus 2. Okay, so simpler over here, a little more complicated over here. But now what I'm going to do is the same thing. I got to bust this fraction. So I'm going to put a x minus 2 on top and extend that. And so what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And notice I need to put, if I say x minus 2 here, that looks like x minus 2 minus 3, and it's not. It's multiplication, so you have to put those parentheses in. Okay, so now this cancels, and we get 1 over 1, so it's just 1. So now we have 9x plus 5, and here we have to say x times negative 3 is a negative 3x, and negative 2 times a negative 3 is a positive 6, right? Negative times negative is a positive. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so now we're happy. Why are we happy? Because we have one equation and one variable, and we know how to solve for that. We want to get x by itself. Now I could subtract 9x from both sides, but then I'm going to end up with a negative over here. So I want to avoid that. There's nothing wrong with it, but with me, if I get too many negatives, sooner or later I'm going to make a mistake. So what I'm going to do instead is get rid of this 3x by adding 3x to both sides. I'm going to add 3x. And this becomes 0, right? 3x minus 3x, so that's why we did it. So we're left with 6 equals 12x. Uh-oh, I left my 4 off of there. I bet you saw that. Okay, so then I bring that down, my 54 down. Alright, so now I have to subtract 54 from both sides. Again, trying to get that x by itself. So here I get a negative 48. So you divide both sides by 12. And I happen to know that 12 goes into 48 4 times, so it's going to be a negative 4. Okay, that's the answer. If you want, pull up the calculator. Clear. You can either do 48 divided by 4 and 48 divided by 12 is 4. Okay, and then know that it's supposed to be negative, or you can put in 48 and then hit this, make it negative, and then divide by 12 and you get 4. Okay, so one last thing, just because I want to check this. So check this out. Let's just see if the math holds, if the theory holds. We should now be able to plug negative 4 into this equation and get it to balance. So we get negative 3 over negative 4 plus 6 equals 9 over negative 4 minus 2. So this becomes negative 3 over 6 take away 4 is 2, and this becomes 9 over negative 6. But 9 over negative 6, that's 3 times 3, and negative 2 times 3, right, to be a negative 6. So that cancels. So we get negative 3 over 2 equals, and I'll just move that negative up, negative 3 over 2. Because it doesn't matter. 3 over negative 2 is the same as negative 3 over 2 is the same as negative 3 over 2. Okay, so that was just a dose of algebra, but the point is that we found the number that balances the equation. So now I'm going to do one more. This one's a little bit easier, but watch what I do on this one. I'm going to try to go just a little bit faster. I'm going to multiply this by x minus 3, and I'm going to multiply this side then by x minus 3. But now I want to get rid of this x, so I'm also going to multiply by x on both sides. Okay? So the x's go away, bam, bam, and I get 10 times x, 10x minus 10 times negative 3, so 30, equals, and then this goes bam, bam, and I get 15x. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 10. Either way would work, but I'm going to subtract 10 this way, and I get negative 30 equals 5x. So if you already know it, you know it, but this is going to be, x is going to be negative 6. So that's my answer. Here I get 10 over negative 6, and this is 15 over negative 6 minus 3, so I'm just checking. So this is going to be 10 over negative 6, and this is 15 over negative 9. So if I do some factoring, let's see, on this side it's going to be 3 times 5, and let's see, negative 3 times 3, so that cancels. And over here you could say I'm going to get, what, 2 times 5, and negative 3 times 2. So the 2's cancel. So this is going to become a negative 5 over 3, and this is a negative 5 over 3. So the negative's down here. And so that balances. So this is the correct solution. Okay, good luck.